and welcome back to the channel. As you see, I am going to be sharing a very, very tragic story with you. These things are starting to happen more and more because there is no respect for leadership, parentship, authority, any of that. Young people are out of control, and the more out of control they are, you're going to see more and more things like this happening. This is the story of a man who was protecting his household, protecting his family, and this dad was shot by her daughter's boyfriend. Now, this young man was climbing up a ladder, coming into his house, entered into his house, and this man, being a protector of his house, lost his life when this young man, when this teenager, the 17-year-old, drew a weapon, shot, and killed him. Now, the teenager is also in the hospital, having been injured in the process as well. But what I wanted to talk about in this situation, I'm going to get into it after I share the clip with you. But I want to bring it home to where it needs to be, because there are some things that our people still just don't get. Anyway, here is the story, and I'll be right back.
A teenager in the hospital this evening awaiting a murder charge after a shootout at this home. Police say the boy snuck into his girlfriend's home, got caught, and then shot and killed her father.
The teen was injured in an exchange of gunfire. Bess Casterly live in the newsroom with new details tonight.
The girl's father had tried to keep them apart many times before, but police say the teen murder suspect wouldn't stay away. Forbidden young love taking a deadly and criminal turn in Zachary.
The daughter had a boyfriend over, and the father came home, and there was an altercation.
A double shooting in this quiet neighborhood. Monday, police revealing new information. 17-year-old Nicholas McQuarter going to see his girlfriend.
The suspect had got a ladder, got into the second story window to see the homeowner, Desmond Hamilton's 14-year-old daughter.
Something that was forbidden by the 14-year-old's father, Desmond Hamilton.
Other instances, I'm learning that when they lived at a prior place, an apartment complex, they used a ladder to get in there. So this has been an ongoing issue, and that they was hoping to stop it, but it continued.
When Hamilton realized what was happening, he took action.
Desmond brought him downstairs and began talking to him. An argument ensued. They began getting onto the 14-year-old. As they were getting on the 14-year-old, shots were fired.
Police don't know who fired first yet, but at the end, Hamilton was dead, McQuarter in the hospital. The victim was more than just a protective father. He was a valuable asset to his community. This partly constructed building was going to be Hamilton's gift to Zachary, a snowball stand at the heart of the avenues where he grew up. Family and friends say he was trying to do what was best for the future of his family, much like that fateful day. McQuarter will be booked with second-degree murder when he's released from the hospital. Live in the newsroom, Bess Casterly, WBRZ News 2.
Okay, so this is what happens when young people don't respect order. You can actually put someone's life in danger. So they are saying that this is an ongoing thing. At their previous location, the young man was doing the same thing. So you have him and the young lady who were being in total defiance of this man's rules. He's the father. He has a right to have rules. And if he says you have to keep your behind away from his house, you have to keep your behind away from his house. But the daughter did not respect her father's rules. That young man did not respect the father's rules, because this generation is out of order. And because they are out of order, this man is dead. This man did what a dad does, which is protect his household. And when he laid down and established rules, they should have been adhered to. But we are in a generation, we're living in a generation to where young people do not respect order. And it is unfortunate that a lot of people go to bat for young people. And what do I mean by that? I've said it many times on this channel, to where you have people coddling. Young people today are coddled so much to where they think they can do whatever the heck they want to do, and you better not say anything to them. That's how they feel, and that's how they operate. And when they operate like this, they bring danger right to your door. So essentially, this woman brought, this young girl, this teenager, this 14-year-old, she brought a murderer right to her home, and now her father is dead, and she's going to have to live with that for the rest of her life. Her decision, her choices to be disobedient has now put her father in the grave. Another thing I wanted to say about this is, so how did this young man get that new address? It must have been the defiant young woman who decided, look, I'm going to go against your rules and I'm going to give it to him anyway because he is my man. And see, one thing I didn't like that the news did, I didn't like how they described this as forbidden young love. You see how they soften things? This was outright disobedience, disrespect, and defiance. Not just forbidden young love. You can't just assume that because he was willing to go through all of this wickedness to get to this young lady that you can call it love. It's quite possible it was lustful desire. And so now this man is dead. Another one's in the hospital. And if he gets out of the hospital, he is going to jail. And now this young woman who decided that she was going to have things her own way, her father's gone, and now her man is gone. Neither one of them are going to be in her life now. See, the choices that young people make, all of y'all who like to say all of this junk, all of this garbage about stop judging them and all of this, that, and the third. All of you who talk like that, when you want to put a zipper on any type of rule or instruction, and you want to prohibit people from speaking out against the dysfunction in the black community, talking about their attacking or their judging, this is what happens. When no one steps up and says anything, this is what happens. It's so much of this happening to where this young man didn't see a problem with disrespecting this man's house and his rules. Because young people today are used to having it their way. And how dare you step in, Mr. Dad or Mrs. Mom, with some structure and some orders and some rules. See, you have young men who think that they can have access to your daughters regardless to what you say. They don't respect your rules. They don't respect your authority. They think that they can connect with your daughter outside of you regardless. See, let me tell you something. In other cultures, I'm going to tell you, in African cultures, many African cultures, even in Middle Eastern cultures, in Asian cultures, of course, a lot of people are starting to stray away from these things. But in many cultures, there is respect for elders and fathers and mothers and their position within the family. There's respect. But see, much of Western society has grabbed hold of this out of order mentality to where they cleave to Western society that tells children that they can do what they want to do and parents don't have a right to say anything to you. But yet Western society with its hypocritical system, if you don't instruct your children and they get out here and do something wicked and wrong in society, then they say, well, you should have raised them right. And so it's this back and forth thing. Well, I was trying to raise them right, but you made a law that said that kids can do whatever they want and parents can't say anything to them. You see how twisted all of this stuff is? A reprobate nature is what causes all of these things. All of these reprobate people putting laws in place, telling children that they have rights, telling parents they don't have rights. But that child who wants to do what they want to do has to live under the parents' roof. And when the parents try to lay down the rules or the law of the land says you can't do that because they are an individual. And so when they bring trouble to your door, you have to wait to see what the hell happens before you can do anything. And in this man's case, what happened was he lost his life. Because this generation has waxed worse and worse. They are out of control and out of order. And when a man tries to run and head and lead his household, doing magnificent things in the community, being a productive member of society. You have some young hood rat, not a hood rat, I'm sorry, that's for the young girls. You have a young thug who comes in and snuffs his life out because his defiant, disrespectful, disobedient daughter wanted to have things her own way. So for all of y'all who keep on saying, stop judging our young people, this is what happens when you stop judging them. They think they can do whatever the hell they want to do, and you better not say anything about it. But when trouble comes to your door, for all of you who like to protect dysfunction, for all of you who like to speak out, to silence everyone from talking about this foolishness that happens in our communities, when trouble comes to your door, remember your own words. That you don't want nobody saying nothing. You don't want nobody judging the young folk. Remember your own words. I'm done with this story, so I would like to hear your comments below. And until next time. We hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.